city is going wild. This is just moments after the Venezuelan Electoral Council announced that Hugo Chavez will indeed remain the president for a third term. He will be leading the country for another 6 years. We've seen an eruption. I don't know if you can actually see behind me, but the fireworks have been going off. There's been people driving around in the streets. People have gathered on the presidential palace to celebrate this victory for Hugo Chavez. But we do have to keep in mind that this was an incredibly closely contended election. The president had won by about 54% of a vote, with about 90% of the districts reporting the results. That means about a million vote difference with his opponent, Henrique Capriles. What's been really fascinating to watch, especially after coming from the West, is the amount of excitement and energy that we've seen on the streets here. People had actually taken to the streets at about 3 a.m., hours before the polls even opened, to celebrate, to line up. While we were covering the actual voting process, there were lines going literally around blocks for the election voting places. People had really tried to get there early to build up the momentum and try to get their candidate pushed forward as early as possible. Despite that, polls had stayed open much later than expected. It's been a really closely contended election, and for quite some time it was unclear who would emerge as the winner. We've seen both militias that support President Chavez, as well as the official military and National Guard patrolling the streets. It's been fairly calm right now, but again, as you mentioned, because it's such a closely contested election, it's quite possible that we will see tension in the coming weeks and months. We have to keep in mind that the inauguration won't happen until January, and it is going to, there's a lot of potential for the supporters who are discontented with President Chavez to take to the streets. Both candidates, when they voted earlier today, had promised to stick to the election results, to concede if the Electoral Council decided the way it did. But at the same time, that does not mean that they can necessarily control their supporters. And with such a highly polarized, divided electorate, there is some possibility that we will see tensions. We certainly won't see the country calming down anytime soon.